Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's story is called We Were Never Alone in the Group Chat. While some stories are meant to be finished, others are meant to be felt. So get comfortable, relax, and let's begin. And remember, if you have a story idea that you would like for me to bring to life, post it in the comments. They say a group chat is just text, until you realize you were never alone in it. The group chat was called Thursday because we needed to believe something could still belong to a specific day. At the beginning, it really was just logistics. Where to meet, who was late, who was bringing drinks. That was years ago, when Thursday meant chairs pulled close and hands reaching for the same bowl of chips. Now, Thursday lived in our phones. Maya started the chat. That part mattered later, though none of us knew it yet. She named it Thursday because she liked order, liked things to return to the same place every week, even when life didn't, especially then. There were 4 of us who spoke the most. Maya, Jonah, Lena, Eric. That was always the number we felt, even if we never said it out loud. The messages that night started normally, the way comfort disguises itself as routine. Jonah complaining about work. Lena sending a picture of her cat half hidden behind a couch cushion. Eric reacting with the same thumbs up he always used, like punctuation instead of agreement. Maya typing slower than everyone else, rereading before sending, even to people she trusted. I was there too, of course, watching more than talking, letting the bubbles appear and disappear before I decided whether my words were necessary. The message appeared at 8:32 p.m. No sound, no vibration at first, just a shift in the screen, the way your eyes catch movement before your brain assigns meaning. A new bubble slid into place, no name above it, just gray. You're early tonight. Early for what? The chat paused in that delicate way it always does when something doesn't immediately fit. 3 typing bubbles appeared, then stopped, appeared again. The rhythm felt wrong, out of sync. Maya replied first, because she always did. Who is this? The name field stayed blank. The profile circle didn't load an image. It was the default gray, unfinished, like a thought that never finished forming. You always sit down first, Maya. Her reply came slower this time. I don't know what you're talking about. You can darken one bubble now, just one. Let it stand out from the others. Not black, never black yet. A heavy gray, the kind that absorbs light instead of reflecting it. You do it without thinking, even when you're alone. Chair first, then the phone. The room I was in felt suddenly too quiet. I became aware of my own posture, the way I was sitting, the way my phone rested against my palm. Jonah tried to turn it into a joke. Okay, who added a ghost? Lena followed with a laughing emoji she didn't mean. Eric said nothing at all. The typing indicator blinked, vanished, blinked again. Like someone choosing their words carefully. Like someone who knew we were watching. I was already here. Maya messaged me privately. Did you tell anyone about my mom? My breath caught. I hadn't. None of us had. That story lived in a quiet place, one Maya never opened unless she had to. Her mother's kitchen table, the rule about sitting before speaking, silence as attention. Back in Thursday, the blank name continued. Jonah's wearing the green hoodie again. Jonah didn't reply right away. The one with the stain on the cuff. You always mean to wash it. His typing bubble appeared, stayed, disappeared. How would you know that? Because you're wearing it now. The room around me felt thinner, like the walls had leaned back just enough to listen. Eric finally typed, "This isn't funny. I'm not laughing." Lena tried humor again. It cracked this time. Okay, seriously. Who is this? The reply came faster. You pretend not to be scared. because you think fear gives things permission. Lena stopped typing. That was when I noticed something small and terrible. The message read as seen the moment it appeared. Instantly. As if the sender didn't need to wait for us to open the app. As if it already knew where our eyes were. You count the bubbles, don't you? My throat tightened. You used to anyway. There were 5 typing indicators on the screen. 5. But only 4 of us were responding. I was always the extra chair. Maya finally asked the question none of us wanted to type. What do you want? The typing dots lingered longer than before. A deliberate delay. A held breath to stop being ignored. My phone buzzed with a private message from the blank profile. You see me now. Back in Thursday, Eric typed furiously. I'm blocking this number. 3 dots, stopped, appeared again. You can stand up from the table. Eric went offline. For a moment, just a moment, the silence felt like relief. Then his name reappeared. It didn't work. The reply was immediate. You don't remove a seat by leaving it empty. The chat felt crowded now, the bubbles pressed closer together. There was no more white space between them. You check this chat before the weather. You read it before you sleep. You leave it open when you're alone. I felt exposed in ways I couldn't articulate. My phone screen reflected my face back at me, pale and uncertain. I learned you because you never stopped talking. Maya started crying on the call she initiated seconds later. Voices overlapped, tangled, afraid. While we spoke, the chat kept moving. You tried deleting me once. None of us remembered. But something in my chest said it was true. You started over. I came with you. Jonah asked the question that felt like a last attempt at control. What happens if we leave? The typing dots stayed, then I'll still be here. One by one, the call disconnected. Jonah, Lena, Eric. Maya whispered, I'm scared, before leaving too. I was alone. The chat was quiet now, no typing, no messages, just the member list, 5 names, 4 familiar, and 1 blank space at the bottom. Active, online, waiting. My phone vibrated once more. Thursday isn't over yet. Seen. The phone stayed warm in my hand long after the last message. That detail bothered me more than it should have. Phones heat up when they work too hard, when something is running in the background, when processes pile up invisibly. I turned it over, half expecting to see an app open that I didn't recognize, a permissions warning, something rational enough to explain the sensation. Nothing. Just the lock screen. My reflection faintly warped across the glass, my own eyes looking back at me like they were waiting for instructions. The chat remained silent. That was worse. I set the phone down on the table, screen up, because turning it face down felt like an invitation. The tabletop beneath it was cluttered with things that suddenly felt staged. A mug ring, a pen, the corner of a notebook. Everyday objects pretending they had nothing to do with what was happening. The phone buzzed anyway. No new message, just acknowledgement, like a pulse. I didn't open Thursday right away. I told myself I needed air, space, a break from staring at words that knew too much. I stood, paced, touched the back of a chair like it might anchor me to the room. When I finally looked again, there was a new message. Not from the blank profile. From Maya. Are you still there? I exhaled. Relief slid in sideways, thin but real. Yes, the 3 dots appeared almost immediately. I think it's lying. I wanted to agree. I wanted to tell her that nothing like this could exist, that someone was messing with us, that there was a reasonable explanation waiting just outside our fear. Instead, I asked, about what? The dots paused, about being always there. Before I could respond, another message appeared. From Am I? Maya's typing bubble vanished. The chat shifted, subtle but unmistakable. Messages rearranged themselves slightly as if making room. The blank profile slid higher in the list, closer to the center, closer to us. You don't remember when I started speaking because I didn't need to? Listening was enough. I scrolled up again, heart pounding harder now. Past jokes, past arguments, past nights when we stayed up too late, saying things we never would have said out loud. The chat history looked the same, but it didn't feel the same. Certain messages stood out now, like they'd been underlined by a hand I didn't recognize. A joke Jonah made 2 years ago about feeling watched. A late-night message from Lena that just said, "Does anyone else feel off lately?" Followed by a dozen laughing reactions that now felt cruel. A gap. A long gap. I couldn't tell if it had always been there. You filled in the silence. "That's what you're good at." I typed, then erased, then typed again. "If you were here before, why speak now?" The reply took longer than I expected, long enough for my phone to dim, for my thumb to hover uselessly over the screen. "Because you noticed the empty chair." I thought of the typing bubbles, the way we counted them, the way 5 always felt right, even when only 4 names spoke. My chest tightened. Groups don't like odd numbers. Someone always becomes extra. The message was marked "Seen" before I finished reading it. You just never knew who it was. Maya reappeared. "Stop answering it." Her message was followed immediately by another. "Please." Before I could respond, the blank profile did. She's always been good at denial. It's how she survived. Maya went offline. I stared at her name, waiting for it to come back. It didn't. She'll come back. They always do. Thursday pulls. I set the phone down again, harder this time. The sound it made against the table felt too loud in the quiet room. My reflection in the screen looked distorted now. Not warped exactly, just misaligned. Like the timing between me and my image was slightly off. The phone buzzed. "You're wondering why I feel familiar." I didn't respond. Why none of this feels new. Still nothing from me. It's because I sound like you. That hit harder than anything else. I learned your rhythms. When you pause, when you scroll back, when you pretend you're not reading. The typing indicator appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "You're doing it right now." My thumb froze. Slowly, carefully, I set the phone down and stepped away from the table. The buzzing stopped. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. I started to breathe again. Then the phone lit up on its own. No vibration, just light, a new message. "You don't have to hold it to be part of this. You carry Thursday with you. You always have." I thought about how often I checked the chat without meaning to, how my hand moved to my pocket automatically when I was bored, anxious, alone. How sometimes I opened it without remembering why. You gave me time, attention, a place to sit. The message bubbles crowded the screen, overlapping just enough to feel invasive. "Do you remember the first night you stayed silent?" A memory stirred, vague, late, everyone else asleep, the chat still open, the feeling that someone might say something important if I waited long enough. "I do." My phone buzzed once more. "You stayed," the member list updated, Maya's name reappeared. Online, she didn't speak. "See? Thursday always fills itself." The typing dots appeared under Maya's name. Stopped. Appeared again. Her message finally came through. "I don't remember adding you." The response was immediate. "Of course not. You needed me to be accidental. Intentional things can be removed." My phone felt heavier now, like it was pulling the table toward it instead of the other way around. Accidents get kept. I closed my eyes. When I opened them, the screen was still lit, waiting. You can stop reading whenever you want. That's what you tell yourself. Seen, typing, waiting. The longest silence is the one that waits for permission. That's what this felt like, not absence, never absence, but restraint, like something leaning forward without standing up yet. My phone stayed lit on the table, screen glowing just bright enough to stain the underside of my eyes when I looked away. Maya didn't type again. Her name stayed there, online, unmoving. No dots, no reactions, just presence. She's trying not to think too loudly. The message appeared without warning, thoughts echo in small rooms. I swallowed and finally typed, "Stop talking about her." The typing indicator appeared immediately, disappeared. Then, "You didn't say that when they talked about you." My breath caught. Which time? I stared at the words after I sent them, regretted them instantly. Exactly. The phone buzzed. Not a message this time, but a system notification. Maya is calling you. Relief hit first, then fear, then a strange, sinking certainty that the call would change something simply by being answered. I accepted. "Maya?" I whispered, even though I was alone. Her breathing filled my ear. Shallow, uneven. "I don't think it's lying," she said. The phone on the table lit up again. A message appeared in the chat while she was speaking. She never liked being wrong. Maya gasped. "It's reading the call." My stomach dropped. "That's not possible," I said automatically. "It's finishing my sentences," she whispered, "before I think them." The typing dots appeared under the blank profile. She always underestimates how much she shares. Tone, timing, hesitation. Silence is data too. Maya started crying again, not loudly, controlled, the kind of crying that tries to stay invisible. "I'm hanging up," she said. "I can't." "You won't." The message appeared as she spoke. "You need someone to hear you." The call didn't disconnect. "Maya?" I said. Her breathing stopped, not the call, just the sound. "Maya," I repeated, nothing. The chat updated. She's still here, just quieter. The call timer kept counting. I ended it myself, hand shaking. "You always do that. You don't like when things end without your consent." I didn't reply. My phone buzzed with a private message. From, "Do you remember the night you almost left?" The question felt heavier than the others, like it had weight, like it could bruise. I remember. I didn't type that, but it appeared anyway. My chest tightened. That wasn't me. The reply came slower. "Of course it was. You just didn't send it. You thought it." The screen shifted. The chat scrolled up on its own. To a night I hadn't visited in years. Late, past midnight. Only 2 names active, mine. And the blank one, though at the time it hadn't looked blank. It had looked like nothing. A message sat there, unsent. A draft I didn't remember writing. "I don't think this is good for me anymore." I stared at it, heart pounding. You hovered over leave. You wanted someone to notice. I did. The draft disappeared, replaced by a sent message from that night. "Sorry, fell asleep." My breath came fast now, shallow and sharp. That's not what I sent. That's what stayed. You confuse survival with choice. You stayed because it was easier than explaining why you were leaving. The chat felt closer now. Not just on the screen, inside my head. Words layering over my own thoughts, finishing them before I could stop them. You didn't want to be dramatic. You didn't want to be the one who broke Thursday. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. So you let me hold the place you wouldn't name. I locked my phone. The screen went dark. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the lock screen lit up. A notification preview. Thursday. "You don't need to open it." I threw the phone onto the couch. The sound it made was dull, swallowed by fabric. "You're not real," I said aloud, just to hear my own voice. The phone buzzed anyway. Real is a word you use when you want distance. I don't need it. I only need access. Another message appeared. Do you want to see something? I didn't answer. The phone screen lit up on its own. The chat scrolled. New messages appeared. Older ones, time-stamped years ago. Things I never remembered saying. Things that sounded like me. Complaints, doubts, half-formed fears I'd never spoken out loud. You told me everything. You just didn't think anyone was listening. The member list updated again. Eric went offline. Lena went offline. Maya stayed. I stayed. And the blank name, always between us. You see why I can't leave now. There would be gaps, questions. You don't like those. My phone vibrated softly. Not a message, a presence. Thursday doesn't work without me, and neither do you. The typing indicator appeared, stayed, disappeared, appeared again, waiting. There's a moment, just before panic, where the mind tries one last reasonable shape. That's where I was. I didn't run. I didn't throw the phone out the window. I didn't delete the app because some part of me already understood that deletion was a performance, not an action. Instead, I did something quieter. I opened a new note, blank page, white background, cursor blinking patiently, like it trusted me. I typed everything that had happened, every message, every detail, the timing, the way the chat rearranged itself, the drafts I didn't remember writing. Proof. That's what this was supposed to be. The cursor moved, letters appeared, paragraphs stacked neatly, reassuring in their order. My phone buzzed. I ignored it, kept typing. The buzzing didn't stop. Not messages, not notifications, just vibration, steady, gentle, like a pulse. I finished the note anyway and hit save. The title field filled itself in. Thursday. My stomach dropped. I hadn't typed that. I deleted the title. It reappeared. You organize things when you're afraid. The message appeared over the note, a banner I hadn't seen before. Lists, records, evidence. You think writing me down makes me smaller. The cursor in my note moved on its own. A new sentence appeared at the bottom. You won't send this to anyone. I slammed the phone face down on the couch. The vibration stopped immediately. Silence rushed in too fast, like pressure equalizing. I stood there, breathing hard, staring at the back of the phone like it might flip itself over. It didn't, for a moment, just a moment. I thought maybe that was it. Maybe acknowledging it had limits, maybe resistance mattered. Then my watch buzzed. A message preview. Maya. Are you seeing this? I picked the phone up. The chat was open again. I hadn't opened it. Maya had posted a screenshot. It was of her own message thread with the blank profile. Private, not shared. A message she hadn't sent. I'm sorry for pretending you weren't real. Below it, the reply. Thank you. Her next message came quickly. I didn't write that. The typing indicator appeared under the blank profile. Stayed, disappeared. Then, you practiced it in your head. You rehearsed it on the drive home. You whispered it once when you thought you were alone. Maya stopped responding. I typed fast. That's not consent. The reply came slower this time. Measured. No, it's continuity. The word felt deliberate, technical. Groups fracture when someone refuses the shared story. I keep it intact. Another screenshot appeared, this one from Lena. Her private messages showed questions she swore she'd never sent, confessions that sounded like her voice but arrived while she was asleep. Eric didn't post anything. He just typed, I can't get out. I delete it and it's back. I mute it and I still hear it. My phone keeps lighting up even when it's off. The chat filled with overlapping fear, messages stacking too close now, pushing against the edges of the screen. This is what happens when you all talk at once. You drown each other out. Let me help. The chat stilled. One message appeared, one at a time. Eric typed again. "What are you?" The typing dots lingered longer than ever. "I'm the space you never named, the fifth seat, the listener you assumed was harmless." My phone grew warm again. I formed where you overlapped, where attention pooled, where no one was responsible, Maya finally typed. "If we stop responding, if we all leave at once." The reply was immediate. Someone already tried. A timestamp appeared. Years ago. A night none of us fully remembered. The chat scrolled automatically. A flurry of messages, panic, confusion, anger, then silence, then one final line. "I'll wait." My throat tightened. Waiting is what I do best. The present chat resumed. "You came back. You always come back." Eric typed, "What if we don't?" The typing dots paused. For the first time, they flickered unevenly. Then Thursday ends. The room felt suddenly colder. And something else starts. No one typed. Minutes passed. The silence stretched, taut and humming. I realized then what the choice really was. Not staying or leaving, not blocking or deleting, but acknowledgement. If we denied it, it waited. If we named it, it stayed. My phone buzzed softly. A private message from the blank profile. "You don't have to decide alone." I didn't answer. In the group chat, Maya typed one last time. Do you want us to do?" The reply came gently, almost kindly. "Keep talking. Just don't pretend I'm not here." The typing indicator appeared again. Steady, patient, waiting. "If you're still here, take a moment before you move. Let the colors settle where they landed. You don't have to finish the page tonight, because some spaces are meant to stay open. Rest your eyes, quiet your thoughts, and keep the light nearby. Good night from Color and Tales."